We are live. Welcome to the Debo's Absurd After Party. Got my new co-host this weekend, Chris Hunter, one of my best friends, old roommates, known him for years, former mechanic, former team manager, arena cross madman, and hater of all things.
Yeah, nice to be here, Danny. Thanks for that great
Thanks for coming, brother. Love you. Good. Thanks for joining us. Our other co-host, Nick Deloger, is down in Missouri riding a dirt bike. Oh, what an idiot.
Never heard of him.
Yep. So Alito Mac is back, baby. I don't even know how to say it. I mean, what a race tonight. Damn.
That was an awesome race. I mean, the crowd here in the house tonight was louder than the crowd in Denver.
There was at least 20,000 people in this living room, I think, earlier.
It was unbelievable.
That was awesome. I mean, that's why we get these groups together. We get our families together here at the Cullinane Studios, courtesy of Jessica and Dan, and had an outstanding dinner from Chad and Lindsay tonight.
Oh yeah, thanks guys.
And yep, thank you for that. But we get together. We have this like everyone else. That's kind of what this show is about. You know, everybody's at home watching the races, and we got a group here watching them. And what an exciting night! Holy shit! Where do we even start?
Well, let's start with the 250s.
Well, yep, we can start right there to the 250s. What do you think? What a disappointing night for Austin Faulkner, man. What a bummer. You've raced your entire life growing up as a kid, and we might not be that level, but the disappointment of getting hurt and then trying to ride hurt, shit.
Not fun. I mean, definitely I've torn both my ACLs before and was able to still ride, but I mean, everybody's different, and what a disappointment for the poor kid.
He was riding well. He had in practice. He has third, I think, in the first practice. The second practice, he overjumped again and hurt his knee, I think, on a triple.
Why do you think he went out for second practice?
I don't know, man. That is a question we were kind of asking around the house before the main event, or before the night even started, is, if you got a good time already set, why risk it? So I really don't know. I don't know if he did a little bit more damage in that second heat or that second practice, but he didn't look very comfortable in the heat race.
No, he looked darn right terrible. Yeah,
he was riding cautious, obviously uncomfortable. The track was a rough track, pretty gnarly track, big whoops. So it was actually a fun-looking slow track. For once, it didn't look like they were going Mach 1 and scrubbing everything.
Yeah, well, and I think that he got his mindset together for the main event, because, I mean, he came out and looked really good up until the time of the incident. Yeah,
he did look strong. And as I think Ricky and Ralph were saying, and we all know, if you once that gate drops, man, adrenaline just takes over. And I thought, man, I actually took him out of my top 5 in our fantasy league, thinking that after I initially thought that he'd be good, I started thinking about the injury and stuff, and I took him out, and I'm like, holy shit, he's going to prove me wrong. He might win this thing. He's going to keep the points and head to Vegas. And then he cooked in that jump and kind of faced that valley.
So what do you think's next for him? You think that we'll see him at Vegas, or are we done? Or
I absolutely
bunch of what ifs.
I don't think we'll see him at all. I think he will be gone. I think he's done for the season. Get it fixed. Come back in 2020 and start all over.
So then don't try it for outdoors either.
I think he's done. Yeah, if you can't, Supercross is gnarly. Outdoors 40-minute motos, no way. So I'd say he's done. Go get it fixed. I think McAdoo is already supposed to be the replacement rider pro circuit. I've heard through rumors, and will be placing Faulkner. So I guess we'll see.
Good for McAdoo.
Bad for Austin. Go out and win every single round, except the one that was in East-West, but still was the best East guys, and then have that happen. That's what dirt bikes are, man. They're dirty son of bitches.
Yeah, unfortunately, racing's not fair. And crappy way to end your season, but it's why it's called racing and not winning.
Yeah, I think when they showed Mitch Payton up in the stands, the press box area when Austin did that in that main event, you could just see the disappointment.
Yeah,
and you know how hard Mitch works, and every team works very hard, but Mitch is trying to get back over the hump, and
but he had to go out and try. He had to go and do what he did, even though it's a disappointment. I mean, nobody wanted to see it. Everybody wanted to see him succeed, but it is what it is.
And he rode aggressive in that main event. We ran it deep in that first turn. He moved Chase out of the way, made a mistake. Chase got by him, and then bam, he just come running on Chase. So Austin had the desire and the heart, which is awesome, which is what you want out of an athlete. It's just like you said, sometimes it's not fair in racing, and he made one mistake. He was crashing practice there for a few rounds, and that one dab of his knee tore his ACL, and he's out for the season. And now we got Chase Sexton, who rode an outstanding main event and is now the points leader.
And what about Davalos in that heat race?
What did Davalos do in the heat race?
He turned left when you were supposed to turn right.
Oh, Marty. He comes up to start straight backwards, in that bowl before the finish line turn, and just, I don't know what he did. He decided I'm just going to go straight. Maybe go check out the first, check out the mechanics area.
Have you ever seen anything so crazy from the veteran?
Well, it's Marty. Come on, Martin Davalos. You never know what's going to happen with him. He's a great rider. He's been obviously a 250 career rider, but he does some crazy shit, man. And he does it at heat race. And I was a little disappointed. I actually had him winning the main event this weekend because he looked really strong at the last round. And he got out front, and I thought he would pull away because it was a difficult track, and he just kind of dropped anchor and dropped back to fourth. Yeah, but Sexton had to win one in order, if he's going to wrap this up, you don't want to do it without winning a race. Yeah, I mean, and Sexton rode good, and I thought Cooper would be a little stronger at his home race. His teammate Oldenburg obviously didn't pay any attention to their teammates. Ooh. Oldenburg kind of ran it right in him pretty deep, which I was a little surprised. And then checked out and left him. But Cooper's got to do his own thing. Oldenburg's trying to win a race, and Sexton looked good. Dalbo's fourth, Hartgraff fifth. He's a local rider, and Kyle Peterson sixth. And how about Alex Martin's hole shot? Unbelievable, awesome, good for him. Good for the Suzuki's, good for JGR. He proves the bikes are fast, and sure would have liked to see him stay up there. Yeah, he went down early. Alex has not had a great Supercross season. I don't think a lot of people expected too much out of him. Outdoors is where he's going to shine, and it looks like JGR's got those bikes running. Got Budman in the corner, J-Bone, those guys, Ben and Mike, and all the guys. So definitely a good crew over there. It's nice to see them because I know they put in a lot of work, and Suzuki's put in a lot of work to try and make the 250 fast and relevant. And Alex Martin got the whole shot, but obviously went seventh. I see on my list. So, all right, who else we got? Well, let's wrap up 250. 250 points. Sexton's got 174. Cooper's got 165. 9 points out of it, and obviously Faulkner at 152. So Sexton going to this East-West shootout in Vegas next weekend is pretty much a lock. When you say, I mean, anything can happen in East-West shootout, but can he be comfortable? What's he doing this week? Boy, if I was him, I'd be doing all my outdoor testing. That's what I was just going to ask. Is he doing outdoor testing, or is he still focused on straight Supercross and getting? You've done all your homework. You know what to do. Just go there next weekend and get it done. Don't overthink it. Yeah, for sure. Don't do that. And Geico's a good team, obviously, and they got great bikes, and so it'll be interesting to see what going into Vegas what they'll do during the week. Obviously, we won't know, but we can speculate, I guess. They've got a good enough team and experienced people around them that they're going to point. What about Vegas? Let's jump. We don't have to jump that fast, but I guess we will. Let's just jump up real quick with the 250 class. Who wins the shootout? Who's the fastest right now? AC. Ferrandis. I'm going to go with AC, obviously, because he's got the record. I mean, he's been there. He's done really well at Vegas. Has he won 2 shootouts, I think, in the last 3 or 4 years? He's won the last two years. Yeah. So yeah, hard to beat that number. And my thought was going these last rounds as well. The guys who are going to take the most serious are the guys in the points leads, because everyone else is kind of checked out, I think, and ready for outdoors. Yeah. My phone's dinging again. I need to learn to turn that thing off. Gilmore, stop texting me. I can't bail you out of jail tonight. So let's just jump into this 450, man. Elito Mac is back. The man was crushed it in Denver. I was there, saw it. I was blown away. I had him winning. I think 9 out of 12 of our guys in our fantasy league had him winning tonight. And boom, that pesky little Elito rears his ugly head. Well, so we saw the first one. And then as the race was going on, his first crash was in the whoops. I was ready to take a bet with somebody and say, hey, ain't going to happen again. There's no way he does that again. Chad's sitting there. It's like, man, he's going to do it one more time. I guarantee it. And good thing I didn't take the bet. And you're like, screw that, bro. I'll put 20 on it. And 3 laps later? Obviously, if you listen to this, you watch the race tonight, and what an outstanding 450 main event. Cooper Webb lays it down. Eli, man, out front, fucking falls down again. How does he? I don't know. I mean, it was like we watched it on repeat. It was like a replay of the first crash. 2 crashes in the exact same section of whoops. Very memorable. My 2 years of crashing at the farm in the exact same section, but and almost as stupid, obviously. But yeah, I don't. You think the kid got it figured out, and he's gone. He's out front. He moved Coop out of the way, and he was pulling away. Now, I did defend him that it was very ruddy in there. You did. You're like a cautious mother. Now the track was rough. It's okay if he crashes. Don't yell at him. Don't everybody go get a rope just yet. Don't get a rope. But again, what a great man for the fact that not only Eli crashing twice while riding his ass off, Coop rides brilliantly. Osborne takes the lead at one point, and he almost launched it off the track.
I mean, when's the last time we ever seen a main event that good?
That was pretty damn good. That was kind of comparable in a sense to Atlanta 90. There was more guys involved in, I think 8 guys with like 4 different leaders. But what did we have tonight? 3 different leaders at one time. And then Baggett was getting right in there. And then boom, he falls. The worst thing to happen is that I commented on my fantasy league that I had first, second, fourth, fifth, and sixth, all correct. And as soon as I said those words, Savacci launches off the track.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned Savacci, it was like you hit the eject button.
I'm like, Savacci, I got him. He's got the right. Oh, shit, he's down. And then as we're reviewing Savacci's crash, you hear the crowd in the background, and you're like, ooh, something happened.
And that's Eli.
There's Elito on the ground. Man, oh, man. And then
so I blame you.
I tell you, you don't talk about your fantasy league during the race because it could fuck everything up and just totally implode it.
And you did.
And I did, yeah. But what an exciting track.
So what about the whole shot too, though?
What happened in the whole shot? Marv went down, got his ass ran over.
Right, but it was oh my gosh.
Who
pulled the whole shot?
It was Osborne and Eli, right? They came in and then Cooper dove inside of them.
Yeah, and then Cooper came out with the lead.
And then he took off. And then Eli, I think, snuck past Osborne.
Yep.
Set out after Cooper. They had a great battle. We thought automatically, why would Webb? Why does Webb has absolutely nothing to gain here by racing with Eli, right? I mean, why if you got an 18-point lead, why risk racing with your competitor when you really don't have to? But man, he just threw himself in there. He didn't care. He threw some elbows, passed back and forth, cat and mouse game.
It's just got to be his personality. He's a fighter and a scrapper.
A fighter and a scrapper.
He just ain't scared.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I would have checked up and rode around in second.
I probably would have done the same thing, but like you said, Cooper gets fired up, and Eli pushed a few of those buttons, and you can see the rage in Cooper's eyes. Like, man, I'm not gonna let you push me around. I'm gonna win this title, and I'm gonna win races too. I'm gonna win the most rounds.
Well, and he was the smartest too by cruising around. I mean, behind Eli, not cruising around, but he stayed with it, put the effort in to stay.
He did right over his head. He kept in his pace, kept in his groove, kept in his comfort zone.
Yep.
And which Cooper's done all season long, amazing. He did that in Denver 2 weeks ago, which was, Coop was Eli had taken off. Coop had worked his way through the pack, got a dick with Savacci. Boom, gets a second, minimizes the damage, and he does it again tonight. But he didn't minimize only the damage; he extended the points lead.
Well, and just think of the guys that made the mistakes. Osborne screwed up. Eli makes the 2 mistakes, and Cooper's able to put it all together, mistake free.
They say when you're on, you're on. When the moto gods are shining on you, and everyone around Coop made mistakes tonight except Coop.
The orange juice has been on all year, man.
It's what a great series he's had. My hat's off to the guy. Not only is he takes advantage of the opportunities when they present themselves, but when they don't present themselves, he makes shit happen.
Yeah, out of thin air. How the hell does he do that?
I don't know, man. We saw it the other week when Savacci goes down in front of Roxon, and then Marvin goes down twice, and Coop stays clear of everybody. Tonight, Elia goes down twice. Savacci goes down. Osborne goes down. Everybody goes down around him. Cruz out front wins by 5 seconds, I think you said?
Yeah, I think it was like 4 seconds, but yeah, still,
Brilliant.
Awesome job, man.
New York, New Jersey. Maybe we should go to the Netherlands sometime.
No? Absolutely.
Have you ever been to New York? You've been in New York for arena cross days,
I've been out there for arena cross.
Which ones? Utica? You ever been? Did you used to work outdoors too?
Yeah, I did outdoors.
Did you ever go to Unadilla?
Yep. Yeah.
Utica was a fun city.
Whew. That's right. That's where we stayed, right? Was Utica?
In Utica, yeah. Danny Nappy lived in there.
Oh, I remember him.
Nappy, yeah. Newmack and the boys were all friends with him. And where else we were? Niagara Falls.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh.
Go over to the Sundowner over there in the Canada.
Remember that was the joke, was if you had a good night, you got to go to the basement?
Yeah. Sundowner was a strip club across the border in Canada. Man, it was good. And nothing like, throwing Canadian dollars at them because they're coins.
Oh, yeah. That was brilliant.
Whew, brilliant. Russian strippers are always fun.
I remember somewhere we were in New York for an arena cross, and I remember you throwing a microwave out of the hotel window.
That was Worcester, whatever.
Oh, Massachusetts.
Yeah, the only reason I think we got out of that city alive is that state alive because Ed Longacre is from Massachusetts, and I think he knew the police.
Yeah, that's
when Billy Whitley pushed Chad Pedersen. And he smashed the window. There was window, the mirrored closet, shattered it everywhere. Yeah, and we decided at this point we're gonna see what we can get out the hotel window from the 3rd floor.
And you proceeded to get just about everything.
They shouldn't open up the windows that much. That wasn't my fault. It was a pure accident. But that was arena cross days.
So do you remember how you did that night?
In Worcester, Mass?
Yeah.
Fuck no. 6 years arena cross. How many? One year we ran 76 main events. How the shit am I going to remember it? 76 main events in one arena cross season.
I don't.
That was 17 weekends, or however many divide 4 into that.
I don't know. Dude.
That's when we went to Europe.
I don't hardly remember
Canada.
A whole lot.
Never slept on a Saturday night. I know that. Just ran out after the races, raged till morning, got on a flight. You had to probably drive somewhere for a while before you were team manager, right?
Oh yeah. I drove with your dad for a year.
Yeah, that got to be fun.
That was awesome.
You guys are crazy.
Some good stories.
Talk about some different generations right there. Holy cow. I spent most of my youth driving around the crazy bastard. So they didn't call me Dome Light Denny for nothing.
Yeah, you were Dome Light Denny.
Dome Light Denny. Do you bet you've never been to Meadowlands? I've raced the Meadowlands in the 80s, late 80s, 88, 89. I think I won there in 90, maybe. I don't think it's a different stadium. I think every stadium I've ever raced in has now been imploded. That's how old I am.
That was like one of your first Supercrosses, wasn't it?
No. Well, my first season, 88, I got a third. It was the last 125 national Supercross of the season for the East Coast. Congratulations, Todd DeHoop. He won this particular weekend, which is a coincidence because they're there again this weekend, and he won the title in 1988. And as I wrote on Instagram, I somehow ended up between the two of those guys on the starting line. Todd DeHoop and Mike Jones. They went into the last round almost tied in points. I think they're either tied or 1 point apart. So basically, whoever won between the two of them that night was going to win the title. And I think I was like in 5th in points, and I rode both the 125 and 250 main classes that weekend, and qualified for both mains, which was a long night. I had to race a heat, a semi, and a last chance in the 250 class, and then on my heat in the 125. Got a podium on the 125 class. Todd got second, locked up the title. LaRocco won, and I couldn't get the bottle. The cork out of the bottle. Because they come with a cage over the top of them. I couldn't get the cage off. I'm like, man, I got to go. 250 main's getting ready to start, so I set the bottle down. But yeah, when I'm on the line before the main starts, I just scream. Ah! I'm like, and Jonesy and Todd look at me like, what the fuck was that about? I'm like, man, you guys are so tense right now. I'm just trying to break it up. You guys have good nights. Good luck.
Just be the spoiler.
Just being a spoiler. Yeah, I'm in the middle between you. I hope you don't take one of you down.
Oh man, that's good.
And then we raced with them a lot in arena cross. You were around that, obviously, those guys. And
Jones was awesome.
Jones could flip a bottle of Corona like any man.
And he could punch you into next week.
Yeah, he was like a brick shit. I was trying to move him. But Meadowlands was always a fun event. We used to go in the city, and we'd take a limo, and we'd go to Hard Rock, and then we'd cruise through Main Street or downtown Manhattan looking at hookers, because they'd be standing in the street in their underwear panties, which was very odd from people from Nebraska for us to see.
At least you weren't looking for trannies.
No. Well, who knows what's going on down there? New York City back in the 80s. Surprised we weren't robbed. I won't mention that maybe somebody's lost their T-shirts to somebody.
Oh, down there?
Yeah, it was out of control.
I don't know that story.
No, but
hey, what about old Marv coming back?
Marv ran his ass over.
Yeah.
He's for somebody who was right in the points hunt to 3 weeks ago, won 2 in a row. The second one he got red flagged, and from that moment forward, it just went to shit for Marv.
He's had a tough Supercross season this year.
Well, I mean, not as tough as he's had. Obviously, he's healthy all year. He just made, I think he.
What I mean by that is that his expectations of himself, I think, were quite a bit higher than what his results have shown.
Well, we've always said, if you can't be the fastest guy on the track, at least be the fastest guy in your truck. If you can't let your teammate beat you, and Coop comes in out of the blue. Teams up with Alden, who obviously Marv's been working with, on a bike that Marv's been riding, and kicks his ass. And that can't sit well. That's got to be hard to sleep at night. And I know Marv is former world champion, former 250 Supercross champion, and that's just got to eat at him.
What's the age difference between them two?
I don't know. Dan, could you tell us the age difference between Marvin Musquin and Cooper Webb?
Isn't it like 29? Marvin's 29 and Coop's 22 or 23.
I don't know if Marv's that old.
I'm pulling numbers out of my.
It's funny that 29 seems old, but I guess it's not as old as it used to be in moto. But in moto, that would be retired back in the day.
Well, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is that
you think Marv's ready to retire? You're trying to say?
I don't think so, but
I don't know. I
I mean, am I crazy? But
yeah,
isn't 29 getting to be?
Well, what time? Well, how old was the Dungey and Villapoto? Didn't they retire at 26 and 27 or something like that?
You know, if I had done my homework for my show,
don't you have a phone, man? Here. You got Googled somewhere, man.
Oh, good point. Good thing.
What? 6-year difference between Cooper Webb and Marvin. 29 and 23. So you were absolutely correct. I think you nailed both those. Way to go there.
Wow.
Genealogists or whatever that's called.
Genealogist.
Making up words over here. So 29, 23. That's a pretty big separation of years in motocross and supercross.
So does Marv stay?
Oh, Marv's not going anywhere, I don't think.
Yeah.
Why would he? I mean, he's not getting hurt.
Let's say he races for another 3 more years.
Ooh, that's quite a bit even.
Okay. Does he still stay here in the U.S. afterwards?
What, do you like to race or do you like to live? Oh, I guarantee they go back to France. His wife's French. He's French. I think they go back there sometimes during the breaks and see family. I don't know.
I don't ever test.
All I know is Mob does not drive the bus. In Millville, in case you didn't know that story, Millville last year, we had the JGR guys over in our pits. We had a bunch of our friends and family and kids. Everybody's hanging out in a couple of motorhomes, and the JGR guys are over there with their mule on Friday night before the races. And they see the KTM guys and they wave them over. And Marv's in the rig and his mechanic and his wife, and they all hang out. They hang out with my friends' kids. They're playing bags. They're shooting the shit. Tons of fans are coming over, and I just thought it was one of the coolest things. You know, growing up on motocross and seeing one of my best friends' kids, Bill's boys and Henninger's boys. Hanging out with their heroes. I thought it was like badass. So
that's kind of what I mean about the Musquins, is that they seem to become very Americanized. You know, I mean, they seem like no different than if you and I are hanging out together.
I don't know. Good question.
But
he does not. But I went over and talked to him after, and I thanked him for coming over. I'm like, hey man, thanks for coming over. That's awesome. You made my friend's kids week. You know, I go, did you like? He goes, I like to hang out during the Friday nights and you know, go see my fans and shit. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Do you know, when you got a motorhome or something or bus, you stay in and stuff. A lot of guys have it. He goes, yes, I have a bus, but I don't drive the bus. I'm like, Marv, I'm pretty sure I know you don't drive the bus.
Come on, Marv. Maybe you should try driving a bus.
Drive the bus. But yeah, I think he stays. I think he'll race here a couple more years. I think KTM has a solid base right now. I'm a little upset they didn't bring Harlings over for the outdoors. And I read that Harlings had said that he wanted to, and that KTM told him, we only have you and Crowley in Europe, and if Crowley gets hurt, we have no one, and we already have Coop and Marv in the U.S., and we're not going to let you go.
Okay, now the way that I understand that is it's 2 separate teams. Crowley is on his own. He has his own sponsors and stuff, and he gets help and support from KTM, and then Hurlings is the factory effort, or I have it reversed. I'm not exactly sure.
I didn't know this either. I read on RacerX, I think it was last year I'd read about that Crowley – there was you know, Crowley and Airlines were on 2 separate KTM teams in a sense, and then Prada and the other one Trixie or whatever, not right, Trixie,
Trixer. I know who you mean, but
yeah, the two they were separated as well with each one. So each one had, you know, a 450 team, 450 rider and a 50 rider, 50 rider, and they were not necessarily in the same hauler. They were not necessarily they were both KTM factory teams, but not the same team, which is kind of odd.
Yeah, and it makes sense because with it being 2 separate teams, you're not just going to abandon that team, come over to the United States. I mean, all those people need to have their jobs and keep working.
Yeah, you're leaving your mechanic, you're leaving everybody. That's true. It's not just you coming over to the U.S. And plus, he's had to find a mechanic over here unless he brought. Who knows? I wish he would have came personally.
It would have been awesome,
fantastic.
I mean, dude, who would not have wanted to see that?
Well, you didn't. Yeah, we went to the Nations and saw Airlines ride in person. Amazing. Unbelievable. So I was like, man, if he would come to the U.S., I think it would have drawn a lot more people. Not that the outdoors are struggling the least, but what a great addition. But it's not happening. So we're stuck with fucking Marv and Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb.
So
you're soon to be 2019 Monster Energy Supercross champion. Man,
I like to refer to him as the Orange Deuce.
The Orange Douche.
Deuce.
Oh, Deuce
for number 2. So it sounds like orange juice.
I don't think you want to call
orange
Cooper Webb a douche.
No, absolutely not.
Orange juice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The Orange Deuce. That's not bad. He's had the red plate pretty much all season long.
That red plate is heavy. Heavy.
And yeah, I got a chance to talk and kind of be friends with Ricky Carmichael a little bit this year, and with messaging with him, and I'm not name dropping or anything. I just really enjoy his perspective when we get a chance to message. And he'd said early in this year that, the weight of the red plate is more than you can even understand, and in the 40 Supercross, the biggest series we consider in the world, and you can obviously see it. You see the mistakes year in, year out from the top guys, and Ricky had said that Coop knows how to manage a title, and that's exactly what he's done. I think, don't you think?
He's done a very great job of it. And as far as the red plate, I've worked with enough arena cross guys going into the last final round, and it's, whoever wins is going to get the title, and man, you can just see it on their faces, and that's just at that level. Imagine what it's like at the highest level, and he's had to deal with that every weekend. I mean, what a good job.
It's been brilliant. Been anything short of brilliant. He's not coasted in this title because obviously he's earned it every round. Everyone's been healthy every week. He's just, again, I've said it time and time again, he broke all those guys. He's mentally broke Marv. He mentally broke Kenny. He mentally broke Baggett. He mentally broke Elito.
Yes.
And Eli, both of them.
I mean, luck is definitely on his side, and my definition of luck is preparedness meeting opportunity, and he definitely did it.
Awesome. Crushing it this year. It's been fun to watch him. I mean, I enjoyed his style, his aggressiveness. I like to compare him a little bit to Bradshaw because Bradshaw's got that angry fire in him. I wish that Cooper would be a little bit more admittedly when in his interviews, like, yeah, fuck yeah, I moved Marv out of the way.
I don't know if they can do that, though.
Yeah. I know he was thinking that. He had to be thinking that when they interviewed both from that next round, and Coop sitting in the stands, and it's like, I didn't mean to do that. I was just I got into it a little bit. The team kind of melted me out.
Now, what happens going into Vegas? Because Eli still does have a shot at this. Mathematically, it's still there.
Well, 23 points. I think the only way.
The only way he could do it would be to take him out.
Well, he would have to tie him up in his hotel room, I think, and leave him.
But didn't
maybe kidnap him like Goodfellas style and leave him in the desert somewhere?
Didn't Eli get a little nasty with Dungy at 1 year?
Yeah, but that was like, when he was trying to make up 8 points, I think. 23, like I said.
Well, I know that was only 8. Think how desperate he's going to be with this.
He better hire a sniper in the stands.
Well, I'm sure he probably knows a few.
Because that probably not a good one there for that one. Take that back. Sorry. Let's go with the stick with the kidnapping, tying him up. That's probably way better, more appropriate. I apologize. Good thing we don't. Good thing this isn't. I'm not running for president. I just blew my candidacy on that one.
Good job. I mean, just throwing it out there. Just something.
Well, he's not. I mean, we thought it might happen tonight. We were yelling and screaming at the TV, like, man, is he going to punt? Is he going to punt Webb? He's going to knock him off the track.
I thought
do you think that was his intention tonight? Do you think if Coop would have raced him a little bit harder in a corner, do you think Eli would have just blown him up?
Yes, absolutely. How could you not?
No, I agree with you. I mean, after what he did with Dungy, Anything was possible. But that one corner, he kind of dove in, and Webb again, he's aware. And as Dungy was kind of in Vegas when Eli was moving him out of the way and then holding him up, and Grant's catching everybody.
Think if Eli would have taken him out and cleaned him out and went on to win the race.
And Cooper got a 6th or 7th?
Yeah.
How do you think the media would have handled that? How do you think the fans would have handled that in this pussy millennial age?
Well,
what do you think? Do you think the people would have blown up on Eli saying, I can't believe you did such a thing. You're not a true champion. Or when people said,
well, you're going to have all those guys online running their mouths.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're going to have either way. You're going to have either one.
Right.
Actually. No matter what he did, it wouldn't have been happy, I guess. But because I think people still complained that Osborne should have been disqualified for cleaning out Savachi when he won that title. And that had to be the most exciting race ever in the history of two-wheel dirt bikes.
And there's not a lot of love lost between those two guys.
Man, what do you think? I know Chad was pretty fired up earlier when he was yelling for some reason he didn't want Osborne to win. Would you have been happy with Osborne winning? I would have been happy.
Yeah, I would have thought it would have been cool for him. I mean, he's worked really hard.
And he had the fastest time in Group A practice today.
Correct.
He's coming back from an injury. He trains also with Cooper and Marvin, with Alden.
Yep. I mean, how do you not with Alden? You're bringing up Alden. How do you not see the value in him and his program? I mean, how smart was it for KTM Husqvarna in order to hire that man, bring him on, and do what he's done?
Absolutely. I said that when I signed with Suzuki back in the 90s. I mean, I thought, well, I probably didn't think of it then. It was after. But I mean, Suzuki just always gets brought up when we do on Pulp with Budman. Factory Suzuki hired Budman at 16 years old.
Oh, yeah. And then here, have a nice day, kid. You're on your own. We'll see you at the races.
Paid him salary and just said, here's your rental car number, and we'll get some flights, and we'll see you at the races. Get your ass there.
Yeah.
16-year-old kid.
Does not work.
And so my thought process always was, look at the NFL. You pay a rider or a player, and any team, especially the NFL, and then you take them to boot camp. You take them for 30 days for boot camp before the season starts, and you have preseason. They hold their players accountable through their own value. And motocross has never done that ever. The riders had to figure out how to train, how to do everything on their own, and one of the most physical, demanding sports in the history of mankind. History of mankind, called. And and most riders fail.
Okay, now didn't Mitch Payton do the same thing this year with his program?
I do not know that.
I believe that he required that everybody stay back out west and train.
Oh, I did read something about that. Because Adam's been out there all season, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but I don't know. Does Mitch have does Pro Circuit have a specific trainer for their athletes? I know that like Star has Star Yamaha has somebody, former rider. I can't think of his name. And then KTM has Red Bull. KTM has the former South African
Tyler
Rattray, and Swanepoel. Swanee. They call him Swanee. He's a star guy that trains all those guys.
Yep.
Does Mitch have something like that? I don't know.
Well, I know Mitch lets Forkner go down and work with Renard down there.
Right at home in Oklahoma. He's from Missouri, goes to Oklahoma, works with Bogle and Robbie.
Yep. Well, and then it would be Benny Bloss too.
And Benny, yep. And yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I grew up here in Omaha by myself racing as a pro, I guess, but I was racing. I practiced with you and our buddy Bill and our other local friends. No offense, but it wasn't like, practicing with Budman or Fro every day in a sense,
Well, honestly, that's the big problem is because you're riding with slower people where you should be riding with faster people or, people at least your same speed.
And I think that's what's awesome about the KTM program. I think everyone agrees that Jason Thomas said I think the best thing he ever said is when Dean Wilson that year he was riding 250s with Kawasaki was in a chance for the outdoor title, went down and stayed with Reed for 2 months and got to experience the fact of racing a 250, practicing every day on a sand track on a 250 versus 450. Realizing he's underpowered.
He's always going to be the underdog. He's going to try so much harder.
It's like, I think he said, it's like forging a blade in steel.
Yes.
And I totally agree with that. And having Marv and Webb and Osborne practice together every single day, the three best guys, all you do is get faster and faster and learn from each other.
So if you're the other manufacturers, you going to pick somebody? You going to put together a program? Does a guy like Swanepoel become worth more money now? Does somebody like Robbie Raynard put something together? I mean, wouldn't you think those are the guys? Those are our next guys. This would be our best choice
of training. Bring them in.
Okay, guys, we're going to pony up. We're going to make your guys' facility even better. Whatever. I mean, not to say that I don't know what they have right now, but
it's easy for KTM to sell that to their riders because it's already been proven. But to prove, like for Honda, just out of the blue, say, okay, Ken Roxon or whoever's going to come be the next guy, say Adam Sinistrello and Savacci move to Honda. And they're like, okay, well, now you have to train with our trainer. I don't think they have quite the clout that you would have with Alden. I mean, Alden's already got.
Well, because he's already got so many wins.
He's already established it. So that's tough. But I mean, what's Ken do? Who's Ken's trainer? I don't know. Doesn't he train with some bicycle guy or something?
Ken Roxon?
Yeah.
Well, remember it was his brother-in-law that was hurt.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
All of them ride bikes.
So what?
All the riders.
Yeah. They're all bikers. Yeah, they're all on 10 speeds, little spandex bags.
Did you know that all the KTM GNCC guys train at Alden's?
Because that one guy came out and was that Russell?
Caleb Russell
that came and rode Unadilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he went down and had trained with those guys. But do they normally train with Alden as well?
They're all based and live down there in Florida and train down there. Alden has bought more property and added on,
so they can have like a woods track type deal, woods course.
And those guys are gnarly.
Well, they are really gnarly, and you can see it tonight. I mean, Osborne was never a great Supercross rider, because when he came back from Europe, but he learned and he worked and he's worked. He's one of the hardest workers and one of the probably most talented people to ride a motorcycle. He's an ISDE champion.
Yes.
Came in late no one really knew what he was going to do on a 450, and he's gotten better each and every week, just like in slow increments, which is how you do it. You don't try and just go, man, my first race back, I had to win this thing, and then you grenade and get hurt again, or you lose confidence. And yet Osborne has gotten better and better each week, and shit, he damn near won this thing. He should have won. I wish he would have won.
Right. Well, and I don't think that us, the general public, even understand the severity of their injuries and with what they're dealing with. So many times we're programmed to just go, you know what, they got hurt. It's 6 to 8 weeks. They'll be back. Look at Vogle's a perfect example of that. It's taken him a long time to build his foundation.
And Dino.
And to get back up. And then poor
and
Dino.
And confidence. It's a mental game. It's such a mental fuck, every week you want to get better and stronger, and you make a little mistake, and then your injuries compound. Yeah. Your mental weakness compounds. So for those guys that come back, Bogle won his heat race tonight. Looked great again tonight, huh?
Yes. Yeah. And kudos to that guy, man. He's come from some tough times.
And yet another guy, which we were talking about, who didn't have a ride to get here, and does a sub-in deal and ends up kicking ass. He didn't have a great night tonight. I think he crashed and got 22nd or something, but he won a heat race, which is putting the sponsors on the box. He rode awesome in Denver. Fantastic. Won his heat race there. Held off Savacci, held off Baggett, held off Roxon to get a fourth. It's a bummer that you get that flow going, a heat race win, a fourth, heat race win, and then a crash in the 20th. I hope it doesn't bust him up too bad. Vegas left, and what does he have? Does Justin Bogle riding some outdoors for that team? I don't know.
I believe so.
Is Bloss coming back, or Bloss?
Oh boy, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Bloss lately.
I don't know. I think Bloss is coming back. I think Bogle only is riding the first 2 rounds, maybe.
Could someone just text Bloss real quick and find out what's going on?
What are you laughing at? This isn't a Denver show. It's not meant to be funny. Are we laughing at Lurch? The big guy in the background? That's producer Dan. If you'd like to talk to Dan, you can call him at 402. His wife, Jessica, says you can have him on Thursdays and Wednesdays.
All yours.
But he doesn't do dishes.
He's not housebroken, and he eats like a horse. he produces one hell of a show.
Dude, I haven't heard anything about Bloss. I don't know anything that's going on with him.
Well, outdoors is coming up. What's going on for outdoors there, big man? You're an off-road rider, so you love that shit.
I like the hair scrambles and not.
Well, it's outdoors.
Yeah, okay.
It's dirt.
Same thing, whatever.
Not in the stadium.
I don't know.
What you like better, outdoors or Supercross?
Oh, hands down, Supercross.
Hands down.
Hands down.
What's the last Supercross you've been to?
Oh boy.
What's the last outdoor you've been to? You've been at Millville since you've been to a Supercross, right?
I went to Millville in.
Been that long, really?
It's been.
God, when did you become such a married dork?
I don't know. I think the last Supercross I went to was St. Louis, and I went with Jeremy Buell after
Arena Cross.
Arena Cross was over. That's got to be like 99.
Oh,
that's a long time ago.
So no, wait, that's not.
Dick Deloger even goes to Supercross.
No, wait, that's not true.
And he hates Supercross.
So the year that Kyle Regal won the Arena Cross championship, I was out there and was at the Arena Cross race, and then I went the next day to the Supercross
in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And I walked through the pits. I got to see who I wanted to see.
Oh yeah.
So and then I went back to the hotel and I watched the race with Justin Buckaloo.
I think that would have been probably 05, maybe.
No. That's like 2015.
Oh, okay. Damn, I'm old. How did you just go buy so fast?
No, you when Regal Kyle was there, you got
It's when we went.
You up and you got announced at Arena Cross.
When in Omaha that year he won. That was year he won, right? That's when. Who sat on the bike that night? Got pictures. Bo did. That's right. That's right.
And then the next year he remembered Bo.
That's right. Yeah, Guy was a good kid. He where's Regal doing now?
He trains down at
in Texas.
It's in Texas. I cannot remember.
He's training riders.
Yeah. He works down there with a lot of amateur kids and all that.
Very cool.
It's the same. It's the same place that Chad Johnson went to and trained all the time.
I have no idea what that is.
I can't remember it right now.
We're just fans. You're really into this cock. I love it.
What? Easy. So we're going to Vegas next week. Did you hear this?
I caught bits and pieces of this. Whose brainstorm idea was this?
I don't know.
You too?
It was the Colnane Wives. I don't even know. Dan's not even going. He's taking the boys racing here in the locals. So it's me and Chad and Lindsay and Jess are going. And it started here. What like was it last Tuesday?
Yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, they're like, let's go to Vegas, haha. And then Jess on our text started going, is this really happening? Because I think it's going to happen. I'm like, it's not happening. Vegas is not good for Denny Stevenson.
So, like,
I've already been lost there twice.
are you still able to get passes and all that stuff put together, or how does the new Supercross work for Denny Stevenson?
What? What? I hit up my buddy Dirk Shaw, Ashley Hodges from Monster, and he's going to hook us up with some passes, and we're going to go have some fun, I guess. I was trying to see if we could just skip the race altogether and watch it at the bar too, but the girl's like, no, we got to go to the race.
Are you going to get?
We got to go see Hot Bread. We got to see Hot Bread.
Are you going to get in the Monster after party?
It's amazing. People still kind of like me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if we'll make it. Who knows? It depends what the girls want to do. It's all their show. Chad will probably be asleep in the room by Saturday. Because we get in when we land Friday at noon. Jess gets in at 7. I told her good luck finding us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have to work.
So my 2 girls got to go to Vegas 2 years ago, and they somehow got into the Monster after party, the VIP party.
Which is probably never safe for 2 young women to be at a motocross party.
Yeah,
Supercross party.
They're like 21, 24, but
Who was hitting on him? Is somebody hitting on him?
Emig.
That's funny. Yeah, I did hear that.
What's that?
Yeah, Lindsay wants to know what to wear to Vegas. She texted me the other day. She said, "Did you let me know what the girls wear at Vegas?" I'm like, I haven't been to Vegas in 10 years. I'm pretty sure I have no idea. Text Cody.
Just go to YouTube and put it in, and then you can see the after party from last year.
They don't think, they don't have a banquet anymore.
I don't own a dress, so that's me.
What?
They don't
Really?
have a banquet anymore.
So when Supercross is over, they just hand out.
I don't know where they do it. They must
They
mail
just
you a
mail
check.
you a check, and that's it.
I don't know. But they no longer have a banquet. I didn't realize that. While we were talking in Denver when we did the live Pulp show, we were talking about being in Denver and how in '96 was my last year of Supercross, that I accepted my check on a flatbed trailer with free pizza. And that was the banquet. And I think the next day they had a party at the Wet and Wild across the street from Mile High Stadium, and I don't think anyone went. And that was the banquet. And I've said they didn't do Hard Rock back then. And Mathis and Jason Thomas are like, and Weege are like, they don't do anymore either, bro. So I guess back to flatbed trailer in the parking lot.
That's pathetic. That's just what's the promoter's name that always does the Switzerland Geneva Supercross?
Eric Perinard.
Why don't they take a
Xavier.
clue from Eric Perinard, and after the race is over, just have a huge banquet hall somewhere and just have the biggest bash going?
I have no idea. I really don't know. It's Vegas. It's hard to keep everybody together.
Why don't they just hire Eric Perinard as a consultant, and he could just take
Eric's
care?
awesome. I want to go
of that.
I want to go to Bercy this year. Not to race.
I know people that have Eric's number.
Oh yeah, I'd like to take Riley actually, because Riley took a couple years of French and can't speak it, but it'd be fun to go. Like he's gonna graduate here next year, so I thought it'd be kind of a cool trip. You want to go?
Do you remember that friend of mine, Nick, that we met from over in Switzerland?
Isn't he the one that? Yeah, he was kind of babysat us all week that rate when we went over there race Supercross, right?
So
in Geneva?
he's continued on his relationship with Pernard and always does the 2 races over there. Helps him out, always helps out the teams.
What race is that? Bercy and Geneva still, right?
Yeah, whatever Bercy is. There's
Bercy's
some other
it's
fancy name for
it's
it.
a new stadium they're in now, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, he's done that for 5-6 years now.
I might have to check on that. See about it was something to go check out the races and be a little kid. Take the kid on a World One vacation, like
I'd go.
like Chevy Chase.
I wouldn't mind going.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, that's who wants to go to
It'd be-
Paris? Who wants to go to Paris with Cog and I?
Yeah.
Shit, we got to Vegas. Cool names.
It'll probably be the only time I'll ever get to see Justin Brayton at an actual race.
Aren't you going to go to Justin's race when he comes to Winterset?
Well, local races don't count.
Paris now.
I saw him in Minneapolis, and he started opening a dealership.
Oh, I've heard this.
I don't know if this is official. I don't know if I should say these things.
We probably shouldn't talk about it.
We're gonna though. He's opening up a KTM and a Husky dealership. The first one in the world or country that'll be both brands.
I don't know how he's doing that because I know other dealers have tried that and it didn't work.
Well, maybe again, I'm not supposed to say this, so I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's Hondas and TMs.
I don't know. Are you going over for the weekend? I've heard rumors that you're going to be announcing for the best local track there is,
Winterset MX.
Riverside Raceway.
I am going to be there for Justin's weekend. I'm pretty excited. Damon Bradshaw, longtime friend, will be there and competitor, and
I can't wait to talk to Damon.
he's awesome. Awesome.
I want to bring up all the good old arena cross stories where he would come over with a bottle of George Dickel and his Hanson's energy drink, what was before it was known as Monster.
Right.
And dude, he would just get slobbery.
He was the kid knows how to race. He knows how to party. He was North Carolina. I like to compare him, or Cooper Webb compared it to the beast from the East.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I've known Damon since I raced with him at Ponca City when I was in 1982.
No
my
way.
first year I went to Ponca City. My parents obviously we rode. I rode 7-Eleven novice.
Like on 60s?
On 80s. 80s. I was 11 and Damon was 8. And he was a factory rider, a factory Yamaha rider. Like we're in different heats. At Ponca City NMA used to run. You had different heats, and they all transferred into a main event for the final moto. And in both classes, I'd won all my heats, and he'd won all his heats. And we met in both main events, stock and mod. And we're sitting on the starting line, and I'm shitting bricks. I've never been in that kind of pressure in my life. I'm like, man, I got to make this happen and stuff.
So Damon had the hype around him.
He's sitting there, my dad's sitting there talking to Damon, just like laying on his crossbar, like, yeah, man, I was just testing last week with Brock Glover and down at Gainesville and stuff. And my dad's like, what? And I'm listening, kind of going, what? But
like he was the guy in magazines that you would see.
No, I mean, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't think Mini Cycle magazine was quite there yet. I think it was coming on.
Okay.
I think the next year when when Budman and Swink and John Kitch and Damon and Swap and Fro, and it was just a whole shitload of many guys. Rick Simmet, Lil Thompson. So yeah, so Damon and I went to the mains together, and I probably one of the few times I ever beat him in my life.
Awesome.
I kicked his ass when I was 11.
Man.
And he was 8. So yeah, I've been holding on to that for a long time. So thank you.
Well, I talked to Wink tonight.
Yeah.
And he wants to do like a roundtable deal with you, Justin, and Damon.
That's what like a
do
Q&A type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Justin said. So we're looking forward to Justin Braden's weekend in Winterset, Iowa, at Riverside MX, right? So
you'll have to give me some more details on that story, and then when we're over there, I will blindside Damon with that.
May 18th and 19th, I think it is Friday, Saturday, and I think he may have been racing Sunday. But
Are we bringing
there's so many stories with Damon and I. We one year when we were at Mini Olympics, I think I broke my leg or something, and I was hopping around in crutches. I think I broke my leg early in the week, but I was still able to hop around with a broken leg. That's what you can do when you're 16 because you just feel no pain. And we were running around with, and they had a water balloon slingshot. Remember those things were popular for a while? And we aimed like from across the parking lot into his mechanic's hotel room and blew up the TV. Like it went in, like he opened it, like someone, he had a thing aimed and one of us knocked on the door and he opened it and he let the son of a bitch go. And that water balloon fucking went to second level at the Holiday Inn in Gainesville, Florida, went through the door and hit the fucking TV and blew up the TV, shattered the screen, water everywhere. The mechanic was like, what the fuck? I ran. Damon denied he had anything to do with it. They were trying to blame me. I'm like, dude, I just knocked on the door, man. It was Damon and those other guys that did it.
Who got in trouble?
Well, I don't know. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. But then we went out to the freeway and we're shooting at cars.
Oh no!
Shooting water balloons at the cars. Yeah.
You guys hadn't learned your lesson.
Well, no. We're idiot mini kids, teenagers. Yeah. That's what it's kind of like being on vacation with your family. You get to race dirt bikes, which is awesome, and then raise hell every time after when you got back to the hotel for a week with all your best friends. Kind of like spring break for college kids.
Were all the amateur nationals like that for you?
Pretty much. I like to have fun, Cog.
So who was like your main hangout? Who was your guy that you couldn't wait?
Well, I always hung out with Swap. Chad Pedersen. I've known Chad forever. Sean Huggins. You remember Sean Huggins from Iowa? Both Iowa guys. I don't know why I hung out with those guys, but those were the guys that we always went to their motorhome. Scott Chesser from Texas, awesome friends of mine. When I broke my leg in Gainesville that year, I didn't even crash. There was 40 guys when I used to do World Mini Olympics. Used to run Supercross, hair scrambles, outdoors. They had a Grand Prix one year. It's flat track. First year I went down there, they ran a flat track, literally on an asphalt flat track.
Terrible.
Yeah. So when I broke
AMA idea.
Yeah. So I broke my leg, fell off the track, fell off my bike, laying there. I'm kind of going into shock because I broke both bones in my boot, like right above my ankle. And I'm like laying on the ground. My dad's like, you're turning green. Oh my God, you're going to be fine. And Scott Chester had crashed. And he comes over and he bends over the top of me and he's got his helmet off. He's like, Danny, you okay? What's going on, man? And he had broke his nose and he's dripping blood on my face.
Oh.
He's like, Danny, what happened, man? I'm like, Scott, you're dripping blood on my face, dude. And I just started laughing. And my dad's like, dude, you came out of your shock. Like, you're totally going to turn green. I thought you were going to. go weird. Yeah. So Scott, like
Perfect.
Scott's broken bloody nose saved my life.
And you send him a Christmas card to this
every
day.
year, every year, every year. And I got to take my first helicopter ride because so many people crashed that the ambulances were all gone. And so I got to take my first helicopter ride.
What?
I did.
I would never own up to that.
AVAC. They just put me up there and it's like a MASH episode.
At least you remember the helicopter ride.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I haven't had that many concussions yet. CT hasn't kicked in yet.
So most guys I know that take them, they don't remember.
No, yeah, this was not a head injury. Just a broken
that
leg.
was 25 grand that I got no record of.
And we went to the hospital, and it was Gainesville, obviously one of the greatest, one of the best. They invented Gatorade, obviously. And my dad was giving a doctor shit, like the orthopedic surgeon, if he was worthy enough to fix a 16-year-old kid from Nebraska's leg. And the guy's like, man, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but I do surgery for the Gainesville, the Florida Gators football team. And I'm a sports therapist as well. And if we're not good enough, you could just go down to county down the street. And Don's like,
but we're Cornhuskers, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck the Gators. But I remember when they set my leg, and they'd taken off my boot already, and my leg was basically separated. It was right. Both bones were broke down my ankle. And the guy's like, gives me a shot of morphine, and he's like, this is gonna hurt. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he just yanks the son of a bitch and puts it back in line, and the nurse starts casting it, and I'm yelling every dirty word I can as loud as I can. It hurts so bad that when they finally got the thing casted, they rolled me out the door of the room we were in, and everybody wanted to know who had that mouth. Yeah,
I've never heard that story.
And here's like a little 16-year-old, I think I weighed maybe 100 pounds, and just like, ow, that really hurt. Yeah.
Oh.
And then they did surgery, and that's the rod I still have on my leg today. No, that's from a different break. What do we got? Oh, we should probably listen to that. Justin Deklov's on here. Holy shit.
Don't even.
He needs you to read the message for
I should probably read these things, huh?
For Cog.
People can message us.
Actually, who are these goons that Cog is king of? Yeah, does anyone knows? So if anyone doesn't know,
Oh God, here we go.
Chris and I have been friends. We met in high school. We went to different high schools, but we met obviously through racing, right? Isn't that how we met?
Yep.
Where did we meet at? Like the river, probably?
Well, when we used to ride across the street from the river when they had the construction site.
That's when I was riding with my second broken leg.
Correct.
Oh, no, my first broken leg. That was this leg when I had it I was on Kawasaki. No, it was on, what was I riding? Kawasaki's, right?
Yeah. You just come back from your broken leg when I first met you.
That's right. I was riding with like a plastic wrap cast thing on, and we were riding across the street there when they had that big tabletops and shit. It was awesome.
Yep.
That's what we used to ride in the winter. The place called the river because it was sandy. And here in Nebraska, when it gets cold, obviously the ground freezes, but the river was always loose. Great place to ride when it was always moist in the winter.
You got rough as shit.
Rough as fuck, moist. Why did the girls giggle when I say moist? Why don't you take a trip to the 7-Eleven?
Hey, read these comments, they're great.
What?
Read these comments.
Well, okay, that's where Declan. So we're trying to get to the story of how he's called the king of. Well, he's called the king of goons. So Cog and I became friends, and we were down at the river. And all these people wanted to, just bullshit and stuff, and which is cool, because you're just, I come around the local races a lot when I was doing the nationals. And Cog would talk.
I was racing the locals every weekend,
and everybody knew you.
Yes.
And I would come down to practice, and everyone would talk to you, and just gather around you.
Yes.
And you would tell them just how to work on their bikes, how they go faster.
Because I would talk to everybody.
And I'm like, who is this cat? I mean, I obviously knew you. I'm like, dude, everyone loves you.
I remember doing one of the local races down at Palmyra, and you came down with your factory Suzuki box van, and you're like standing there, and I was like parked a couple vans away from you, and you're like, dude, there's more people hanging out down at his van, and I even got posters to sign, and nobody even. I might as well just go home.
You can't beat the local hero, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's here every weekend. And so I'm like, holy shit, Cog! You know all the goons. You are the king of goons. You're Cog,
and I hated it.
And now it's like your name right now.
Well, if
it's
you
like
remember,
your driver's license.
So that next year, that was like in the fall. You said that. The next year, I got sponsored by JT, and you knew, I believe his name was Danny Doby.
Danny Doby, exactly. Yep.
And all my gear showed up that year, and it said Cog on the butt, or Cog dog, or Cog something.
Cogtastic.
And I was so mad. I was like so excited. I finally got free gear. I'm like, yes. And I open it up.
I booby trapped him.
And I'm like, oh, I fucking hate Denny. I'm going to kill him.
Cog.
And then I finally just had to learn to just embrace it.
You even made stickers and started running them on your front fender.
So, yeah, in order to just show I was over it, I took black background from like number plate backgrounds, and I just stenciled out KOG big as I could on the front fender, and I just ran it on both bikes.
He's the cog, man. It's just stuck with you forever. I mean, obviously you've been a part of the industry, and everyone knows you as cog. I wonder if people even know your name is Chris Hunter.
I guarantee there's a lot of people that do not know my real
They
name.
probably think you're German. Cog. Hey, cog. Hey, hey. Might be Elsa's cousin, you little fuck. You blonde, blue-eyed Aryan fuck.
Okay.
Wait, what else? What else? Delonic. Coop got lucky. Eli didn't seize and opted to sweep the leg.
What now?
Delozer, our other co-host, says Cooper got lucky that Eli didn't seize the opportunity to sweep the leg. Like Karate Kid. Do you know your pop culture, bud?
No, not really.
You ever, Mr. Miyagi?
So what's this
Daniel-san?
asking about Team Latvia? I don't know.
Yeah.
Justin Declov.
Deck wants to know what your take is on Team Latvia.
Remember, our friend Justin Declov, good friend of ours, we call him Deck. He's Latvian. We call him the Latvian lover.
Well,
Longtime friend of ours, and where we got him a jersey from the Latvian team at the Nations at Budds Creek.
Does he know that I worked for a rider from Latvia?
Yeah, that's why he's asking you what you think about the Latvian.
I've never seen Cog look so completely lost.
Kibo,
like someone just asked you to figure out what pie was.
read the whole message from Justin. It's great.
So where does it start at? It says, question, what is wider, Bill Holdings veneers or top?
The size of their massive.
Does Cog feel that
Don't even read that.
that Team Latvia is the most powerful team in the world? Or does the size of their massive penises slow them down?
I just remember the last motocross.
Did you see the guy's coach? Did you see his penis? No. Is it true? Is Deck telling the truth? I mean, obviously, no. It's okay, Deck.
The guy's name is Ivo Stensberg.
Ivo Stensberg.
Yeah, so
he's Latvian.
Yeah, and he rode.
Is he the one that came over here and he's like,
Yes, he came over here,
stayed with you,
rode
right?
arena cross, and then I ended up basically being his mechanic for the year.
Did you ever go to Latvia to visit him?
No, but I think I had a coffee mug or coffee stein or something.
I remember you telling me that. I think you showed it. We took a picture of it and sent it to Deck.
I'm still friends with him on Facebook. He races off-road stuff now, and I don't understand.
Does
anything.
Latvia have a strong off-road? Does he race in Latvia or all over Europe?
I'm sure it's all over Europe. I don't know because I can't read the post.
What is he laughing about? I can't. I have no idea what he said. Doesn't Facebook have like some type of
Translation.
there you go, translation?
Why bother? I don't care. I just look at the pics. It's good enough.
Did you see Facebook just got fined $5 billion for stealing more of our information and data?
How did you know you're not on Facebook?
I did. It was on CNN. I have internet sometimes.
Just as long as the stock doesn't go down, I don't care.
Do you own Facebook stock?
I do.
Cog's independently wealthy as well. So if you need any money, his number is 402-689-8998.
That's not cool.
There's only like 12 people listening, so they're not going to call you.
Good.
Well, Cog, I think we're done.
What a good show.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it again sometime?
We can do this again.
Because we might do some outdoors.
But it's got to be during the day. Like this was perfect timing for me. Usually like 9 o'clock is my cutoff.
So
I'm
if a
just
race,
done.
so Vegas is
We're real busy in the garage.
yeah, exactly. God, yeah. Cog and I used to work when Cog and I were obviously worked on my practice bikes when I was racing. We were roommates, and I was racing with Suzuki. My dad be on the road. You worked on my practice bikes at home. Great mechanic. And then when I got back into racing in 06, 07, what's that noise?
Oh, you hear that? You hear that?
That Justin? Good job.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
You just
Fucking
totally
Cog.
crushed the whole show just there.
What was I even talking about?
My bad.
Oh yeah, so
I was your
in
practice bike
06,
mechanic.
07, you were my mechanic when I got back and got a Honda from Storm Lake Honda, and you helped me in your shop. And
Went to Loretta's.
we went to Loretta's. I went to Loretta's in 06, 07, rode the old man classes, and you helped work my bikes. And we would come. I'd bring my bike over to your shop and in your garage, and we would just get hammered.
Yep. and work on the bike.
Work on the bike, and yeah, I think that's why I probably grenaded that weekend at the farm.
Well, I'd always work on your bike until I was to the point where I'm not really comfortable if I should be doing this or not. So I'll do this in the morning.
I'm like, yeah, I don't think you should be. I think we should put down the tools, and I'm going to drive home. Or sleep in the garage.
So officially, I would have been your practice bike mechanic.
You were, yeah. I would come home from weekends, And I remember one specific weekend, I
was
come
gonna
back
Tell this story.
and I open the garage the next morning to come out to go practice, and there's a fucking rubber all over the wall of one of the walls of the garage.
On the
My
ceiling.
tire is completely roasted. I'm like, what the fuck was this? He's like, man, we got hammered over the weekend, and we wanted to see if we could burn the tire off your bike.
We had a big party and just needed a big smoke bomb.
Yeah, and the garage stunk. Yeah,
Denny was mad. He
I
was
wasn't that.
mad.
I was a little mad.
You were pretty bad.
I was pretty mad. And then guys used to fuck my place up. That was a fun house, though.
I was laughing about the story you were telling about Mike Williamson. I don't ever remember him.
He lost my virginity at the house, or lost his virginity.
It almost went sideways.
Man, that went the wrong way, didn't it?
Woo!
Dan, I'm gonna fucking live this one. Dan's gonna have that soundbite on every fucking clip.
That's gonna be the Denny After Dark series.
Little Denny.
Little Denny. That's why they call you Little Denny.
No, but I seriously,
don't-
I don't remember those guys coming through.
Kenny Watts used to come stay. J-Bone, you would stay.
How would you ever forget Kenny? The guy would just take out a knife and cut sandwiches right on your countertop.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, no, you're talking
And rarely work on a bike. But Deegan's bike would never left his truck. I
about-
don't
It
think.
is like sandwiches.
And a little Denny, Nicholas Tesmer. Douche. Yeah, so the joke is that Eli sometimes messages me and then it says, as long as I keep calling me Lito, he's going to keep calling me Little Denny. I'm 6 foot, bro. Pretty big.
Are you gonna ride again?
Never again.
Should I get
Never.
little Denny on his
No,
butt patch?
never, no. Look at my hands. I can barely hold on. I can't even make a fist. Look at
How
that.
about some personalized license plates that say Little Denny?
It's not going to stick. I mean, it can stick. It's not a big deal. It's not as bad as Cog. But yeah, I used to stay at our house. And Williamson was Mike Lemetsker's mechanic when he was at NCY. And I think they used to always go to Patty Murphy's on Tuesday nights and just stand in the parking lot and bring home whatever.
Dean Gibson used to stay.
Dino,
J-Bone.
Wiggins.
Yeah. Carrie Hart would stay.
Carrie
occasionally.
slept on the couch a few times. Yep.
And always Watson was always there too.
Because he was Deegan's mechanic, and Deegan was based out of Nebraska at the time, obviously. So he was kind of back and forth.
Who else came through?
Um,
Anybody else come to mind?
I don't think so. I think that's how we got to know all those guys. Box fan days, back when it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in tonight. It was fun. I did not sleep with Mike Williamson. So I would like to apologize to Eli Tomac again. We didn't chance to get him on tonight. Hopefully we'll make time for him next week.
I didn't say anything bad about him.
I didn't either. He rode great.
Fuck me over.
Well done, Chase Sexton. Well done, Koopa Webb.
Koopa Webb.
Webb. Your 2 future champions, I'm saying. AC Cirillo. We're going to Vegas next week. I have taken no responsibility for the story that's going to come after it. So thank you for tuning in. Cog, thank you for having us. Thank you for the Colnane family. Thank you for the Colnane Studios. And thank you for listening. We're out. Have a good night.
Thank you.